Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today I'm bringing you a couple of quick and easy Valentine cards. So this is some pattern paper that is from my stash, which is from Joann's. I got it locally, so that's how old this is, because we haven't had a Joann's locally in quite some time now. My stamp set is from Simon Says Stamp. I have a die set, which is also from Simon Says Stamp, from a kit from I'm not even sure when. So for my first card, I'm going to take a scrap piece of white cardstock and put it in my MISTI. I do have my waffle flower grip mat that's in there to help me hold the cardstock, even though I still struggled. I thought I had the cardstock where it needed to be, put the stamp set down, ended up picking it up, sticking the stamp set to the wrong section. So it took some adjusting to get this finally where I needed it to be. I end up having to flip over my cardstock after I ink it up because I don't quite know how I shifted everything, but it's just how things have gone lately when I'm trying to craft. It just seems like everything I touch turns into a hot mess, but I make it work. Right here, I'm like, wait a minute, where'd the paper go? So it just thankfully has two sides, flipped it over, and I'm going to make sure it's in the corner so I can stamp it, and if I needed to stamp it a second time, I can. And so I am using the VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink for my stamping because I am going to use my colored pencils to color this in. It's very basic coloring. I don't do anything fancy. I'm not the person to learn coloring techniques from. I am just a quick and dirty, slap down some color and go from there. Not a lot of shading. So basically it's just the two colors. I did the nails in like a magenta pink color and then the skin tone for the remainder of it. I did leave the coloring in but sped it up quite a bit. So I do have two cards for this particular project, like I'm not sure if I mentioned before. So these to go along with my Valentine series. They're more basically love cards. Nothing about them says Valentine's Day, so you could use them throughout the year for friends, family, whomever. It doesn't necessarily have to be for Valentine's. So my thought was to take these hands that are creating a heart, and when I'm done coloring, I am going to fussy cut them out, including that center heart, so that when I place it on the pattern paper, it will be the heart inside of it will have the word love, which is part of the pattern paper that I selected. So I just thought that would be a cute way to emphasize the love portion of it. So off screen, I fussy cut these, and I'm just taking a Sharpie, which is probably not the best marker to be using. Do as I say, not as I do, because I was too lazy to get up in the other room and go get my water-based black marker. But if you're quick and don't leave these kind of markers too long, then it won't pull into your paper too much. I just went along the edges so that you can't see the white of the paper, so that it looks like I did a better job cutting them out than I actually did. So that's just a little tip for you. So I'm just taking my wet glue and I am going to put my hands down right over that love word so that that looks like what I am focused on, which I really like. And then I will take a sentiment from that same stamp set and I am going to stamp that on a scrap piece of white cardstock, and off screen I will fussy cut it so that it looks like I had the die to cut them out. I'm going to stamp this using the same amalgam ink and VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. I used to use amalgam ink a lot, so I think that's why that sticks in my head. I should look for that ink pad because I'm pretty sure I have a refill for it. Random thoughts while doing voiceovers. So I get this stamped out, and I said I will fussy cut this as well because I don't have any dies for this. I'm not sure if they're available, but if they are, I don't own them. And I'm not dragging out the scan and cut just for this one sentiment. So I'm going to adhere that in the lower right hand corner. It just says love you with a little heart, which I thought was good, and adhere this panel, which is very lightweight cardstock, so I was trying to be careful not to wrinkle it, and put that on my A2 size card base, and that is going to complete our first card for today. The second card is the same pattern paper, it's just the lighter section of that ombre cardstock, so it was like the upper portion of it. I'm going to take this die and some silver foil cardstock and use my Honeybee Stamps Bitty Buzz Cutter. And I'm going to cut that out. And when I place it on the card panel, as I'm doing the voiceover, I'm thinking I could have just left it as it was and added the center to the O and been done with it. But I take that piece of pink pattern paper to the right that you can see, and I'm going to die cut the little tag again, or the ticket, I guess it is, out with that pink cardstock, and I am going to inlay the words into the silver piece. I think it would have been fine if I had just left it, but you'll have to let me know which way you liked it, because I'll show you here in a second when I glue it down, the silver outline, if you would have left it with just the underneath paper showing, or if adding in the fallout pieces from the pink paper added to it. So again, I'm putting my piece of paper, the pattern paper, down with the wet glue, giving me a little wiggle room because, you know, I got to make sure, try to get it on straight. And then I will use that same wet glue around this the ticket, making sure to kind of get where all of the words lift up a little bit. Make sure that those are got some glue on it so that they don't stick up when I put this down. So right here, I'm thinking I could leave it right here and just add the center of the O, and you could be done. So if you don't feel like, you know, putting in all of the letters, you could stop here and be done with it. But I'm going to take each letter and add some glue to the back of it. I start by adding the heart, and then I do the first few letters. I put the glue to the back of it, and then when I get to the second row, I decide that I just can add the glue to the inside of where the letters are going and then place them in, and that goes much faster in my opinion. So I do smarten up and do it that way. And then I will go back and add in the center of the O, which I did in silver, to make it, I think that made sense. I debated when I was doing it if I was doing it wrong, but I think that was how it should go. So what is everyone working on right now? I would be curious to hear about your projects. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know if there's things you'd like to see me work on. I'm definitely always happy to take suggestions. I love hearing from you guys and things you would like to, you know, see more of. I am working on some birthday cards. That was something that someone had requested, so I do have more birthday cards coming. I'm just taking a cloth because, of course, with silver foil, or any foil, cardstock for that matter, if you smudge the glue, it really shows up. So I am just taking my microfiber cloth to wipe that away so it has more of a shine. And I'm adding the center. And that is going to complete the projects for today. You'll have to let me know which one of these cards you liked better, or if you like them both equally, that's fine too. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, leave them for me down below. And I hope that you have a great day.